Hello everyone, I am Surrendalot Reviews, and I'm back, and I'm ready to look at some more Generation 1 Transformers. But before I get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if I can't convince you, perhaps this picture of my cats will convince you. And random fact about my cat society is that they play tennis with live grenades. Without further ado, let's get into this. So the first episode we're gonna look at is Dinobot Island Part 1, where the Dinobots get their own island. Without further ado, let's get into this. So the episode starts with Bumblebee and Powerglide investigating a weird energy signature. Oh, right, I should probably mention that these two episodes here ended up introducing a bunch of new characters with no rhyme or reason, so just get used to the fact that a bunch of new characters now exist. When they discover an island that is really weird, like really weird. Like, why is there a pterodactyl here that looks suspiciously like Swoop? And the pterodactyl ends up destroying Bumblebee's jetpack, forcing him to crash land on the island. And as Bumblebee so kindly explains,
wow, what a wild-looking area.
Yeah, I never saw a place like this before.
Well, I have, in pictures, when the Dinobots were being constructed. This is just how the planet Earth looked during the dinosaur age, about 100 million years ago. That flying troublemaker was a pteranodon, the model for Swoop, and yeah!
Anyways, so Bumblebee and Powerglide report back to Autobot Base, where they say that, yeah, we found an island that has dinosaurs, and the Autobots are like, that's nice. And they also show off just how much finesse Grimlock has, which he is showing a lot better finesse. But then, this happens.
Sludge, be careful! Too late!
Sludge, go away! Me, Grimlock, demonstrating finesse, whatever that means.
So, the Dinobots proceed to show about as much finesse as my cat's on the edge of the counter, and that nearly destroys Teletran 1, and the Dinobots are calmed down by Grimlock, and the Autobots decide that maybe it's not such a bad idea to just give the Dinobots their own island to, you know, train and not be such a hazard on base, especially to poor Teletran 1. And the Dinobots are excited about it.
Me, Grimlock, understand.
More room to stomp! Oh, more room good for Big Sludge. Swoop say, whoopee, go!
So the Dinobots, Powerglide and Spike all go to Dinobot Island, but they are being followed by Laserbeak. And, of course, Spike has to say this here.
This island is loaded with energy sources. Active volcanoes, oil pools, steaming geysers. Dinobot Island's got everything.
Good thing those Decepticuckoos don't know about it.
No, seriously, guys, why don't you just also describe to the Decepticons about how you could also harness this energy? I'm sure at this point they'd probably appreciate it. Anyways, so Spike, going out exploring Dinobot Island, gets in trouble. Twice. And the Dinobots have to go to save him. And deciding that he has had enough excitement for one day, Powerglide takes him back to Autobot Base, and the Dinobots are alone on Dinobot Island. So Laserbeak returns to Decepticon headquarters, and reports that it is a place rich with Energon, and the Decepticons go there to go steal some Energon. And I'm just gonna play this montage scene here.
Good place for Dinobot tests. You, Grimlock leader. First, target practice. Hit big rocks. Me, Grimlock say rotten shooting, but getting better. Now, harder tests. Dinobots, transform! Swoop! Do flying stuff! Slag! Do fire stuff! better, but still not more better enough.
I mean, I don't know what I love about this part more, because I just love how Grimlock just talks like that, and how he just orders his Dinobots to do things like fire stuff and flying stuff, and they instantly get what he's talking about, and I just love it. Anyways, so the Decepticons arrive on Dinobot Island and start harvesting it for Energon. And Starscream says this here.
Those bizarre energy waves, Megatron, they still worry me. Stop quibbling.
But during the Dinobots practice, the Dinobots end up spotting the Decepticons, and they go over there to kick the Decepticons out. And back in the city, something really weird is happening.
Hey, Spike, over there. Am I seeing things?
You're not seeing things, Bumblebee. You're seeing that. It's some kind of barbarian on a woolly mammoth. But that hasn't existed for 50,000 years!
They must have come through a time warp.
Meanwhile, the Dinobots are getting cornered by actual dinosaurs being forced to fight for the Decepticons, and they end up falling into a tar pit, and the episode ends. And overall, I will say that Dinobot Island Part 1 is a good episode and a really great way to start out this two-parter. And I will also say that, again, I really like that montage with Grimlock and just Grimlock in general. And I will say, without further ado, let's get into the next episode, which is Dinobot Island Part 2. Without further ado, let's get into this. So the episode begins right where we left off, with the Dinobots being defeated and with the Decepticons having full control of the island. And while they are continuing to harvest for Energon, well, this happens.
Oh, I don't like this, Ramjet. Something bad is happening. An unexplained reaction is occurring. Perhaps Megatron has finally made the one error which will make me Decepticon leader.
You know, I just love how, even though the Decepticons are thinking about probably ripping apart the space-time continuum, Starscream's always thinking about promotion opportunities. Anyways, so the Autobots manage to repair Teletran 1, and they find out that there's a weird disturbance going on over by the library where Spike and Bumblebee are. And then the Autobots get there just in time to save Bumblebee and Spike, and they also find out that for some reason there are barbarians and woolly mammoths in the 1980s, and they also find out that the portal is not going to stay open for long. So Hound and Sunstreaker end up keeping the portal open just long enough so that way the Autobots can send the barbarians and woolly mammoths back to their time. And as the Autobots get back to base, they call upon Chip Chase to help them find out what exactly is causing these time portals, but they end up detecting two new time portals, and one of them is a pirate ship that is trying to hijack a modern-day ship, and another one is a Wild West gang that is basically trying to hijack a bunch of motorcycles from a motorcycle gang. So the Autobots end up being deployed to send the pirates right back to their timeline, and they also do the same for the old Wild West outlaws. And Chip Chase finds out that the time disturbances are actually being caused by Dinobot Island, but suddenly, the volcano is about to erupt. So the Autobots fly to Dinobot Island to put a stop to the Decepticons, and the Dinobots manage to get free. And I'm just gonna play this scene here because, well, I really like it.
Free! Me, Grimlock, everybody free! But Dinobot Island in danger!
Oh, maybe Decepticons do bad stuff to Island. Then we do more badder stuff to Decepticons. Melt them down!
Yes, yes, yes! Wreck Decepticons now!
Yeah, I love how the Dinobots just talk in this show. Anyways, so the Autobots arrive to Dinobot Island to fight the Decepticons, And during the fight, it becomes a bit of a stalemate, all the way up until this happens.
Me, Grimlock Smart, inspire dumb dinosaurs fight too.
They inspired, all right. Now we fight together.
And with the help of the dinosaurs, right as the Autobots are getting absolutely hammered by the Decepticons, this happens.
Never mind the Autobots. Repel those monsters.
And as Megatron tries to escape, well, this happens.
No! It is impossible! I saw you buried beneath the tar pits! You wrong, and you ugly too.
So, the Decepticons retreat, the Autobots release the energy back onto Dinobot Island, and Optimus Prime has this to say about the Dinobots.
The Dinobots have not only proved they can control their powers, they have also demonstrated that they have great value to our cause. They will remain at Autobot headquarters from now on.
And overall, I will say that Dinobot Islands Part 1 and 2 are really good episodes. And I do especially like how the Dinobots talk here and how Grimlock insulted Megatron like he was just a high school teenage girl just insulting another teenage girl. And I also will say that I like the premise of the Dinobots are just too big and don't really have a whole lot of finesse. So the Autobots basically have to send the Dinobots to a deserted island where they can train, but this island also has a lot of energy and messes with time warp stuff, and I will highly recommend this episode. But without further ado, on to the next episode, which is Enter the Nightbird, where we get introduced to a robot ninja. Without further ado, let's get into this. So, the episode starts out with the Autobots testing out a new security system that'll hopefully make it harder for the Decepticons to infiltrate Autobot base, which I think is a step in the right direction considering the fact how many times Soundwave has done it. And then they get a message from Teletran 1 basically asking to please come to our unveiling of our new advanced robot, and it can be best described as...
I fear to speak. My invention is a special robot.
What?
At the risk of seeming boastful, it is the greatest robot ever created by man, which means it is, primitive by Autobot standards.
And of course, the Autobots have got to preemptively insult the robot without seeing it.
Imagine Autobots playing nursemaid to an Earth robot. It's probably just a glorified wind-up toy.
And I'm sure there's no way that this assessment will definitely be wrong there, Wheeljack. No way. Anyways, so the Autobots agree to protect the robot, and I'm sure that this protection will go great. Oh, wait.
Now, gentlemen, if I may.
But before anything can go horribly wrong, we get introduced to the new state-of-the-art robot, which, as it turns out, is a robot ninja. And, as the doctor so kindly put it,
This, gentlemen, is the first female ninja robot. I have named her Nightbird.
Magnificent. Tremendous.
Unbelievable.
Very impressive.
Bravo! Why build a robot ninja, Doctor? Isn't that rather dangerous?
Nightbird has been constructed to demonstrate to the world the limitless capabilities of technology. She will expand the horizons of robotic research to assist mankind and not to harm him. I assure you, gentlemen, she is not meant for battle or assassinations, and I have limited her powers accordingly.
Yeah, this is probably a really bad time for me to mention this, but this episode actually aired about a year after the original Terminator was in theaters. So, after watching that movie, you're probably thinking to yourself, a lot can actually go wrong. Like, humanity almost going extinct bad. Anyways, so the Decepticons, despite not being invited, decide to come anyways, and the Autobots and Decepticons fight. And during the fight, the Decepticons bring a whole new meeting to raise the roof just to steal Nightbird and bring her back to Decepticon headquarters, or at least temporary Decepticon headquarters. So the Decepticons manage to reprogram Nightbird to serve them, and, well, this thing happens to poor Starscream.
She looks like some earthling play puppet.
Yes, but this puppet has a punch. She is not meant to be your sparring partner, Starscream.
And Optimus Prime vows to return Nightbird in as good condition as possible. Anyways, so Nightbird ends up infiltrating Autobot base, and she does so with a lot of ninja equipment, and she manages to steal the World Energy Sensor from Teletran 1 and gets caught by the Autobots. But right as she is about to get captured, well, she ends up spinning around and creating a flashbang and disappears. So the Autobots are gonna have to go find her. Anyways, so the Autobots manage to catch up to Nightbird, but they get absolutely owned by her. And I mean, like, thoroughly owned by her. And she also manages to disarm Optimus Prime and only takes his weapon, and she gets away. And Optimus Prime brings up this interesting thing here.
Perhaps.
But with all the weapons she has, why would she steal your laser rifle?
It's said the ninja always takes a part of an enemy with her. Thank goodness it was only my weapon.
Which, I also have to ask another question. Why would your highly advanced robot not be something like, say, a construction robot or like a mathematician robot? Why would it be like a ninja? I mean, those are kind of people who, you know, their job is to stealthily kill people. Not really something that helps humanity per se, but hey, what do I know? Anyways, so the Autobots manage to catch up to Nightbird again, and they get absolutely curb stomped. Thoroughly. Again. I mean, seriously, she just absolutely dismantles them. Meanwhile, at Decepticon headquarters...
Terrific! Yes, you're definitely on my replacement list, Starscream. She's everything I've always wanted.
Replace me? Never!
Skywarp, Thundercracker, grab him! Soundwave, Bombshell, activate the cage.
You can't keep me in here, Megatron!
I don't see why not. That little cage was something I rigged up for the Autobots, but I'd like you to have it.
And when Megatron looks back, Nightbird is pretty well defeated by the Autobots. I mean, I just love this part here. I mean, that would be kind of like you 1 minute you are absolutely winning a battle so epically, and then you turn your head and then you look back, and all of a sudden you realize you just got defeated so spectacularly, like there was just nothing left of your army. I just find that pretty funny. Anyways, so the Decepticons go to where the Autobots are to go steal back the energy sensor. And Starscream, seeing an opportunity, realizes that Megatron can't replace him with Nightbird if Nightbird doesn't exist, so he manages to break free and goes and shoots Nightbird when she isn't prepared. And Megatron and the Decepticons decide to cancel their attack on the Autobots and instead go after Starscream to go give him a stern talking to. And Nightbird is returned to the Doctor, and the episode ends with Nightbird actually not going to return throughout the series. And overall, I will say that Enter the Nightbird is a very good episode, and I would highly recommend it. One thing that I definitely don't like about this episode, but this isn't really this episode's problem, it's more the show's problem, is we don't get to see more of Nightbird, especially with this scene here, where it kind of looks like we actually are going to see more of Nightbird. And I think if I was to write the show, I would probably have like another episode of Nightbird where she kind of acts like a bit more of an anti-Decepticon, anti-Autobot, or just generally anti-hero in general, who kind of is just fighting for her own interests or something like that. That could be like a really cool concept. Or maybe she wants to get revenge on Starscream or something like that. And overall, I will say that this episode is really good and I highly recommend it. And I think with that, that's going to do it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.